Pro Group Racing presents Show Us Your Tips. September 1st preview. We're looking at midweek racing from Kenzo and Lakeside Beaver. The spring is well and truly underway. How did the weekend treat you?
Pretty good, thank you, Daggy. By all accounts, I think we had a fairly good day. So Brisbane, 4 out of 4 in Brisbane, King of the North.
Yeah, the North was on fire.
It was, so quite pleased with that, and a couple of nice priced ones as well. With Star Tontes at $6, but Melbourne was pretty fantastic.
The move was very backable in the first, actually. It started the day nice.
Yeah, about $3.50, and a couple of the other ones, one with the fairly easy, and then Melbourne was outstanding. I think we kind of found a fair few favourites, but you put about 5 or 6 of those, and we were spot on.
We pretty much found something out of every race bar the Artorias race, including He's a Bolter. I did mention that in Destination.
Yes, you did.
Too. And I did suggest if you're going to back something in the staying race, that No Effort was some that don't at least have a saver. So for me anyway, it was, I hope people followed because it was very profitable. A couple of quaddies on top of it all. So it was very nice.
But a couple of great highlights as well. Masked Crusader, definitely the win of the day. I thought it was outstanding. You mentioned Artorias. That was huge. It's in for a big campaign, Artorias. It was some run. Probably was gritty.
Yes, she was good. She'll be much better. I think she was a bit behind, so she'll be much better second up.
Yep, and Behemoth was good, but I thought Bo Rossa that finished second was an outstanding run as well.
Yeah, well, now I think you have to put him as a genuine Group 1 class horse if he wasn't already. And I thought, I thought Colette's run in that race was very promising wherever she might be heading going forward. I don't know what we take from Sydney. I think maybe we take the pen and put it through a lot of those 3-year-olds.
Yeah, forget about it.
We don't need to worry about Stay Inside or any of them, I don't think. So
Stay Inside was very disappointing. I know, kind of loomed up next to Paulet and just gave nothing.
Yeah.
Cost me plenty in a 7-league multi I had going, and I threw Stay Inside in when Remark was scratched, and it cost me plenty. So I was very disappointed with that.
I think if Remark's there, it wins.
Yeah, I think so too. And I shouldn't have. I thought once Remark was out, Stay Inside was certainly the horse to beat. But I wasn't surprised with the run, the way it blew in the market. There was something off. I messaged early in the day, as you recall, and said, "Is it lost a leg?" Because it just something didn't stack up to me there. So you'll probably want to see it do something, and hopefully it hasn't had the golden slipper curse.
Well, none of that forms really. 4 moves ahead hasn't really covered itself in glory. That whole 2-year-old year, I think we're looking for fresh blood now. Bar Taurus, you might be onto bigger and better things.
And Anima. I'll be looking at Anima.
And ingratiating. So there is a bit of form around the slipper, but some of those other ones, I think we can just what you see is what you get. And I'm pretty happy to forget them pretty quickly, to be honest. But enough basking in our own glory. It doesn't happen often, so we'll enjoy it while we can. But let's look to tomorrow, though, where there's some good racing on, actually. A couple more resumers and a couple of potential...
and hopefully some decent prices there.
Yeah, definitely. Some potential spring fixtures as we go forward. But let's kick off at Kenzo, where the rail is, as my notes just disappear. I mean, that heaps good. Where the rail is in the 3-metre mark, it is good. Look, Kenzo has been leaderish the last 2 times we've been there, so that's maybe the concern at 3 meters. I'm hoping that we do get the bit of swing around, and by the end of the day we can run on. I've treated a little bit like that way, but nervously. We kick off with the 3-year-old maiden, though, where we have over the 1,400 meters, where there is the sprue course here, Profondo. Are you with it off those pretty good looking trials?
Yeah, I am. I think they were good enough trials to win this affair. It doesn't look like an overly strong race, and based on that spruik, I'm willing to tip it in the first.
Yeah, I will too. And it's been back now as well. But 3 really eye-catching trials. They're all very impressive. Just reeling in the leaders and running away in all 3 trials. Set up here nicely from gate 8. And I think we'll see what's under the bonnet tomorrow. Obviously, Money in the Sky was a nice debut. And a couple of odds there to throw on your exotics. I think Mikasa and Makalua will both run a bit over their odds. Maybe for 3rd and 4th, they can be around the money there if you're looking for exotics. But a very interesting race to start the day. I'm interested to see what's under the bonnet here. The 2,400 meter race, benchmark 72. I pretty much looked at this and thought Twillick is going to jump out lead and nothing's going to run it down. Is there any chases in this race?
Look, I think the main danger is potentially the second favourite, Dream Runner. I think it's been fairly consistent. Hasn't been out to this distance before, but how it's been going suggests that it could get the journey. But yeah, you're right. If it is favouring the leaders, then it might be hard to catch, and Dream Runner will sort of be giving a bit of a start to the favourite.
The race 3, 1,100 meter benchmark 64. What are you doing in this one?
Yeah, interesting race here. Hard to get a bit of a line on some of the form here. I've gone for something a little bit of value here in the Kim War stable, Turning. Didn't mind its run at Taree when it won quite nicely. There was 2 horses in the market that day, and they fought it out and beat the rest fairly comfortably. And prior to that, won its maiden really nicely. So the last 2 starts have been good. Yeah, I think around the $7.50 mark, this can give a good sight in a fairly open event.
I end up coming back to Flying Crazy. Nice debut at the track. It'll lead up here. I'll be close enough, potentially lead us back behind Journalism. Went to Hawkesbury behind Conrad, who's had a bit of a spruik around it and a decent horse on a stay. And the second horse from that race actually won today at Hawkesbury again. I know it's Hawkesbury's form, but it ran along. It was brave enough along the inside, not far off that winner. So I think it'll make the rest of them have to beat it, if nothing else. So I just thought that might be the safest bet in this race, with a bit of this other stuff's country or provincial form as well. So that was just the thinking there. Race number 4, benchmark 72 over the 1,550, where I'm going to go with the favourite here, Magella. All the lead up, a lot of these coming through that Midway race 10 days ago. It was sort of cluttered up in the finish. You know, the clearest path at line. It's been going quite well. Gate 5 will be the right setup here. And I'm just taking on the rest. This stuff feels a lot like a weaker provincial stuff. So yeah, the top, Magella and Metro Legend are the obvious 2, but yeah, sort of keen this is an honest horse and a run well. What have you done with this?
Yeah, I thought the same. Should be super hard to beat in this. Its form suggests it should get a lot of the right run. Had a few excuses last start in a pretty close finish. That form and that race looks a little bit stronger than this, so I thought Magella would be hard to beat. And I thought a knockout chance was East Street. The Waller Train, McDonald to ride. Well down in the weights and in the market, about $11.
Yeah, excellent. Speaking of Waller horses down in the market, this one heads the market in race 5, another 72 here. But Morioka is coming back from Queensland, where it ran quite well behind Hoover Lucy up there. It's had the spell in Queensland and the trials in Queensland. I think that's decent form, Socialist, and yeah, Hoover Lucy, that sort of Canadian spice form. Coming back here to kick off midweek. I think it's a bit of a target, getting in well in the weights. And I think this is, and J-Max booked, so tick, 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 inside gate as well. Pretty keen.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. My only doubt was wasn't quite sure where to get to in running. Don't want it to get too far.
Inside gate, it's probably leaders back, I'm thinking. Hopefully he can bounce out.
I wouldn't want it too far back, and that was my only concern. If it can get leaders back, then it should be good night.
Yeah. And the boys version, another 72 over the 1,300 meters here. And I'm sort of going the same way, going the resumer here, Park Avenue. I thought the form around Vern, first prep, and I think it beat Vern and then tangled with Vern again. On the Saturday, that's it beat home in the Congo as well. Obviously, came out on the San Domenico on the weekend. Comes here, it was third behind in the Congo, I should say. Comes here, the 2 trials were good, and this is not a strong race. I think this is a great springboard for it. On the caveat, the track's playing fair. I think it can be close enough, and if we can run on, I think it'll win again. I'm pretty keen to these 2 lightly raced horses are good betting chances tomorrow.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I found Park Avenue for exactly the same reasons as you. Drawn to gate 3, Gets the 1.5 kilo claim, so nicely in at the weights. Some of these up in the market, like Rustic Steel and Taxu, have got to give it pretty close to 7 kilos, 8 kilos. That's a big weight pull. So I think it'll be hard to beat, and I'm willing to forgive Jojo Was a Man first up, and I'm expecting big improvement from it as well. So it'll be the one I'll be watching out for.
Great. The 1,000 meter benchmark 72 finishes up the day here. Do you like anything in the last?
Yeah, I'd like number 10, Oh Please Diana, from the Annabelle Neesham stable. Boss aboard again. I think it might get a fairly good run in transit. I don't mind backing off the Goulburn form. I think some good horses go to Goulburn and get a win under their belt and then come to town. And prior to that, in Morphettville, it had some fairly decent form for sort of that class of race, racing the likes of Trip, Saw Pods. I think it ran well, started favourite there and just missed, and then trialled well at Warwick Farm prior to going and getting a win down at Goulburn. So I reckon at the almost double figures odds, it could be sharp in the last.
I'm scared of it. I actually end up having something on it at Goulburn resuming there. Turns out this Annabelle Neesham can train. She's done some good things with a few of these horses she's got her hands on. Coming over from Morphettville, it was a nice win at Goulburn the other Saturday. I'm leaning towards the lead-up race, but I don't know which way to lead, though. I'm leaning towards Duchess and Misty Orr. One sat outside lead and the other, the leader won. They come here, similar setup. They're going to be 1-2 again. And I guess the thing is, at the current prices, I can back both of them. I'm just not sure which way to split them, but I think that form is better than some of the others. I'm but scared because I feel like there's an upward spiral with Oh Please Dana with the new stable. So I guess the main message is those three are the ones who'll try and play the race around, as we did, a couple of races on the weekend, and we had a bit of success there. So looking forward to tomorrow at Kenza, though. Some exciting betting chances for progretracing.com.au, your best and value, Beaver.
Yeah, my best bet comes up in race 1, number 6, Profondo. I'm going to try and kick off the day with a best bet winner. And then my value bet's going to come in the last. I'm going to go race 7, number 10, Oh Please Diana.
Great. I'm going to make my best Park Avenue for all the reasons outlined there, race 6. And my value, I'll take you on the last again. Misty Orr, I think, will run well around the $7 mark. But, Duchess will run well in that race as well. We head down to Sandown, where the rail is out 10 metres at Lakeside. So in a good track, so we know what we get. It's going to be Lakeside. You probably want to be rails and run, if not right on the bunny. So looking to leaders here, which is a bit tricky because some of these speed maps didn't necessarily write themselves. Some of these races don't have a ton of pace, but we'll see how it plays out. Like some maidens to kick off the day. 3-year-old maiden starts over the 1,200 metres, where I thought Beagle was a nice enough debut. Gate 12, major concern. So, we would need to know that there's going to be some intent there to try and get across, but there's not a lot of pace here, so maybe it can. If it goes back, then it's in a bit of trouble. Not necessarily a race I'm going to storm into, but that was the way I was thinking here. Did you have any better thoughts?
No, I didn't, mate. I was more than happy just to sit on the sidelines and watch this one play out and see how the track's playing. Given I didn't really like anything, I'll use that as a springboard into later races.
The second is the 1,400 metre maiden. What about this one?
Yeah, I actually went for the favourite in Caliper. I think this is a huge drop in class. This race, it is drawn a little bit wide, but hopefully it'll get a spot in here. But this is a much weaker race than last start, where it finished a couple of lengths behind Suzarella, which looks to be a horse that's got a little bit of ability, and that was a pretty good form race. Prior to that, had a nice trial, and then last time in, only had one start, and that was in a good company race at Caulfield, which was won by Arcaded. I think it might have been a listed race. Mm-hmm. So I think they think this horse might have a bit of ability, and I think they've placed it here to try and get a win.
On top for me is Game Legend. I thought it might find the front here, get straight to the front and give everything something to chase down if it is playing leaders. Just reeled in by Waikato stud horse. His name is Valentino's on, who they have a little bit of an opinion of, and might give him something to chase. But obviously, you've mentioned the better form there, the listed race, Arcaded form, where it sort of missed a start in that race as well, Caliper. So could be best horse, but a little bit of a map play for me in this one. The third is a 1400 meter class 1, where I, again, a little bit mappish, but a little bit lightly raced off a nice enough win. Number 12, Devout Hero, I thought was a pretty good win on debut. Comes here, should be close enough to the pace to give him real sight, and was rolling with the Freeman stable here. What are you doing?
Yeah, I thought it presented a good chance, but I've actually gone for Tame Tomo.
Mm-hmm.
Tamatomo.
We'll go with that.
Tamatomo, something like that. Resuming first up last campaign, had a really nice win at Sale, juicy odds to break its maiden status, and then taken to Flemington straight after that, and only finished a couple of lengths off Three Kings, Biscayne Bay at some nice odds. So that's a pretty good form line for this race. Again, a pretty open affair, plenty of chances. So I'm going to go it first up and fresh.
Cool. The 2400 meter benchmark 70 is race number 4, where I've got a little bit into map mode here with it being Lakeside, but Bainbridge rolled along in front over the 2400 last start. Now comes here having had the 2400 meter setup. Happy with that. It looks like the only leader, and you're going to have a pretty good run for your money. So happy to be with it here from obviously Reflect the Stars, who's coming through the Saturday back to midweek form, and it'll be very strong. Obviously, Smoked Romans, that form's good. So they're the two main chances for me. We'll just keep an eye on track conditions, I guess, to see how I play that. But I think Bainbridge will definitely give you a sight. Should Lakeside be playing that way? Have you lined them up?
Yeah, tricky race. I think all 9 horses probably present half a decent chance in this. I've gone for the top weight, Marchand Ensemble. I thought last start was pretty good. It loomed up, and I thought it was going to be right in the race, and just its condition just seemed to give out in probably that last bit. So I think that run will do it the world of good over the 2400. Again, was only a couple of lengths off Out of the Throne, and I thought it loomed up as a really good chance. Gets a 3 kilo claim, so it gets in at 57.5, which is a nice, probably nice enough weight. Distance suits, probably gets the right draw, right run, and nearly at the double figure odds. So I think it's a really good chance.
Cool. Race number 5 kicks off the quaddie on day, the mile benchmark 70. A couple here at odds I'm happy to have a spec on, should it be playing leaderish. The first is Meanie, who's around the $10 mark, coming off a couple of wins in Adelaide. I think it had a brief go in Melbourne last prep, it did, and just coming here off the better start now, a bit stronger. It can roll along just behind the pace, gate 10, probably hoping it pushes forward. And Cabino off the win, it'll get control of this race, and 20, so I was happy to spec that, given it might be a bit of a leader's track. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I like the favourite here, Quintello. The first 2 wins this prep have been really good. I think it's going to win better class of race than this. They backed it fairly heavily at Warwick Nabil, and it won by 5, and then came out at Sandown again and was well found in the market. Started favourite and won by 2.5. Again, I think it looks definitely the horse to beat in this race. Super hard to beat. And main danger, Yulong status. Be fitter for the run. Probably should have finished a little bit closer, actually, first up. Didn't have a lot of luck, and last preparation ran in some really nice races and wasn't far off them. The further they go, the better it'll get. So 1400 up to 1600 will suit main danger.
We stay to the mile and go out to the benchmark 78, race number 6. Open affair, Beaver. Do you like anything in this one?
No, it's a pretty tricky race. I didn't have a real tie to anything. I thought if I had to have a tip, Mahashakti. work on me Japanese or something there. I thought its first run, this prep was pretty good. Ran some really good nice last sectionals. At Caulfield, again, this is probably not as strong. 4 lengths by an elephant. Could be winning this race. That's good form, and prior to that had some nice wins over sort of the 2,000 metres at Moonee Valley. So again, stepping up the extra 200 metres will suit. Gets a 2 kilo claim. Hard to beat. Maybe the resuming Cummings flexible could be the other main danger. So that's the way I play this.
I've got Leal on top. I think it finally gets again the lead here. It's been chasing, so you assume a bit, and just been beat a little bit for pace. But I think this gets close to leading this race, and it'll give you a sight. And yeah, I wanted to highlight Flexible coming off the Adelaide Group 1s. I think it's a reasonably talented horse, and we saw them win with the horse last week off the staying prep back, freshened up, and I can't think of its name, that had the Derby prep last Wednesday. But Gate 1, Damien Oliver, I think will give you a sight for your money at $10 Flexible there. Can't think of the name. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Won at odds last week, and I was kicking myself for missing it. Race number 7 is a 1,200 metre benchmark 70, and I'll put almost a poster child for Sandown Lakeside on top here, Nevaeh's. Only issue is it's first up here, but it's going to bounce on the bunny. It will have that in its favour on the rail, hopefully, and has come off some pretty good stuff. Ended up in some group and listed company last time, but its best runs have all been at this track, and I think it will give you the same side here. And it looks like you're nodding in agreement, Beaver.
Yeah, 100%. Found the same thing for all the same reasons. It's hard to beat. Waterhouse will have it ready to go and jump out in front, and if it has enough fitness, it'll be winning.
And how you finishing the day in the benchmark 70 over the 1,400 this time?
Yeah, I'm going to take the same philosophy there. He's the real deal. Expect it to jump, even though it's strong wide 14. I think it's going to have to come across the field and lead. And based on that, it's going to be hard to run down. So I think presents another really nice bet in the last.
Yeah, I agree. I have nothing more to add. I'm with you there in the last. He's a real deal. In fact, for progretracing.com.au, I'm going to make it my best of the day, rolling forward in the last there. And I'll make my value on a tricky day for a bit of value. I'll make it Flexible. The blue colours fresh there. Your best in value.
Yeah, my best comes up in race 5, number 12, Quintello. I think it'll be winning. And my value bet's in race 4, number 1, Marchand's on standby.
Very nice, Beaver. What have you got for us in Queensland?
What have we got for us in Queensland? I think I come up with about 3 in Queensland. The first race, the short price favourite, number 9, Malibu Blaze. It'll be certainly hard to beat, and I think it'll be winning the first. My next bet comes up, and would you believe my internet has decided to go slow on me, so just bear with me. That's here, right, folks.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Sing us a song or tell us a story, Daggy. Whatever you got.
Yep. Check out Footy and Frothies, everybody, every Wednesday night. Hear our thoughts on All Things Rugby League on Spotify, iTunes, and wherever else good podcasts are found.
Yeah, perfect. Gotta love that. My next tip comes up in race 5, number 3, Montez. I think it'll be hard to beat. And then race 6, number 2, Leadership Spill, paying about $5.50. I think it presents some good value and a good chance. And my last tip comes up in the last race, I think. It flicks over for me now. Race 8, number 10, A River Somewhere. Probably my best up in Brizzy for the day.
Very good. There's always a river somewhere, Beaver. Good job. Love your work. And I will see you Thursday night as we look forward to Fee and Stakes Day at Moonee Valley as well as Randwick this week. So back to the good stuff, and good luck, punters. Stay safe. Check out progretracing.com.au for all their free tips and extensive guides. And we'll talk to everyone shortly. Take care.